I've really learned how to respect my boundaries. My biggest lesson is your capacity is not the same thing as your competency. And that's been really challenging for me to unpack as being the person I am.
There's something in me that's so hungry for growth, but it feels like no matter how much growth I get, it's not enough to feed me. And it's so unhealthy. Like, I will burn myself out time and time again because I'm constantly looking for growth.
My biggest learning is the choosing to be ready and knowing I'm good enough, combined with letting go. Podclass acknowledges the traditional and true custodians of the land we meet on here today, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation. We're grateful to be here.
So no one told you teaching was gonna be this way. Your lesson plans are jokes, your patience broke, you're feeling in disarray. It's like you're always stuck in report writing, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your school year. But I'll be here for you
When the students start to riot,
I'll be here for you.
even if your coffee is gone cold,
I'll be here for you, 'cause you're there for them too.
Hello, welcome back everyone. We are Podclass. My name is Amanda and I'm joined as always by my beautiful friends.
oh, thank you, I'm Will.
And I'm Skye. Hi.
What a year it has been.
What a year it has been. This is the one about 2025 and we're actually going down a bit of a reflective path today, friends.
We're going on a journey.
We
Buckle
are.
in.
We decided that in the spirit of reflection, in the spirit of looking back on the year that has been, that each of us would share what our biggest learning has been. And I know that we actually haven't shared what our biggest learning is with each other. So I'm really excited to hear from the two of you what your biggest takeaway has been from 2025 and to kind of, unpack. And I guess an invitation to reflect along with us and to also look back on your year. So Will,
Like to
are you
begin?
going to start?
I don't
Who's
know.
starting?
I'm really struggling to think because there's always so much that happens in a year and you forget. Like, you literally, I cannot believe that it's been 12 months since January.
Yeah,
It's crazy how years work, right?
And this year has felt like I don't know if it's true for everyone else, but for me, it's felt very fast.
It's felt both the slowest year of my life and the fastest year of my life this year. And my lesson is I'm ready to go. So we can start with mine.
Okay,
Wow.
because you have had a genuinely life-changing year.
It's been a really big year. I became a mum this year. So it's been a huge year.
350 days ago, you got engaged.
And it's also true. I also got engaged. It was the end of last year. A lot of big things. But yeah, I became a mum this year and it has been one of the most transformative experiences of my life. And I don't think that I have fundamentally changed as a person. I just think that so many aspects of myself that have either laid dormant or have been inside of myself have really become amplified and heightened. Like, I really understand what my values are. I've really learned how to say no and why that's so important. I've really learned how to respect my boundaries. And all of these things have just been, I think, have made me both a better partner and a better mum to my little boy. But I guess my biggest lesson in all of it has also not been easy. And so my biggest lesson is that your capacity is not the same thing as your competency.
Oof.
Your capacity is not the same as your competence. And that's been really challenging for me to unpack as being the person I am, because I am often, it would be silly if I didn't say that I'm like a bit of a go-getter and I'm a get out of bed and get it done.
A bit of a go-getter.
A bit of a go-getter.
Bit of a go-getter.
Yeah, I am. And I found it really hard because I have been not forced. I've chosen to take this time off and spend some time out of work and be really present with my family. And coming back some days, when I'm getting all of 2 hours sleep in a night or whatever it may be, it's been really challenging to not be able to show up at work in the same way that I'm used to showing up, whether that is in workshops or with clients or with my business partner, whatever it might be. And I have to constantly remind myself that my capacity on any given day is not the same thing as what I'm actually capable of on that day. And that's been really, really big for me and something I've had to really lean into and learn how to accept and not be super self-critical or really judgmental or really harsh on myself in those moments as well. I know what I'm capable of, and I know how well my brain works, and I know what a creative person I am and how innovative I can be. But I've not had, that has not been my capacity this year because it's a different season. And I've had to be really kind to myself in those moments and be really generous with myself and be really accepting. And I've had to assume that the people around me are also accepting that. Because if I was going home and telling stories to myself in my head about, oh, well, Amanda thinks that I'm just no good at my job anymore, or the client that we worked with today thinks I have no creative ideas, and I know that's like BS because I'm really good at what I do. And so that's been a really big learning curve and probably my biggest takeaway. And I think it's allowed me to view other people that are going through different seasons of their life in the same way. And just, really holding empathy for other moms that are going through it, whether it's they're in their postpartum period, whether it's just we don't know what's going on with people day in, day out. There's always bigger things happening beneath the surface. And I think it's, allowing me to walk through life with so much more empathy than I ever have.
Beautiful. Your capacity does not equal your competence.
Yeah.
Loves that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Skye.
Yeah, that's my biggest. Anyway, who's next?
Will, are you ready?
I think so.
Because I don't think I'm ready.
I think I am, but it's like it goes back to this problem that I have. Because when I sit down and I have these conversations and I reflect, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't grow. I haven't grown for a whole year.
That is such a lie.
I know.
I'll just say from an outsider's
I know
perspective.
so deeply, but there's something in me that's just like so hungry for growth, but it feels like no matter how much growth I get, it's not enough to feed me. And it's so unhealthy to the point, like I will burn myself out time and time again because I'm constantly looking for growth, whether it be within my personal life, whether it be within business, whether it be whatever it may be. And I think that for me, one of the biggest moments of this year was us delivering the first Magic Moments Youth Leadership and Business Summit.
Which,
as general manager, having 180 young people under 18 in your duty of care is the event that I attended as a 14-year-old, and now to be my responsibility. I remember sitting there on the floor like I'd normally do after a big day and just lying there. It's just like in such a learning pit, realizing, oh, there is a lot of growth happening in this moment, but it looks so much different and feels so much different to what growth used to feel like. And I remember it's okay, and that's also fine because what I'd become so accustomed to over so many years of running a business by myself was what I had defined growth as was simply survival and just like constant survival. Whereas now what growth looks like is us building towards something that's really sustainable and something that's so going to exist for a long time.
Like if you're not in a state of constant productivity and you're at like that survival, like all systems firing all the time, that you're not possibly moving the needle forward, even though that's not true.
And I think off the back of that, what I've developed a new level of appreciation for, because you could say that whilst you're a go-getter, I'm a little bit chaos. I think I've developed a new level of appreciation for like precision and like almost planning, but not really, but like being really precise. And when we hit something, we then hit the next thing, then we hit the next thing, then we hit the next thing. And that can also be growth as well. I remember, and then my thoughts.
They're beautiful thoughts.
I think I don't have any more. I remember.
If you are looking to support the young people in your school or your community to develop their public speaking skills, Youth Engagement Project facilitates public speaking workshops for young people. We follow our 4C public speaking framework, where we explore courage, communication, clarity, and connection, the skills and tools aligned with all 4 of those C's that are essential for effective public speaking skills and communication in general. Give us a call or send us a message.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
You can ask as many questions as you like.
So
I don't know why I don't feel growth. Like it's easy to look back and be like, oh, we did some cool stuff, but did I grow as a human?
So if growth doesn't feel like being in a constant state of survival or fight or flight, what does growth feel like with more systems in place or with more support in place? How would you articulate the feeling of
it's like my baseline of like dopamine towards survival is just like so high that it's like the dips in what I defined growth as previously and what I may still, and why it doesn't feel like it is like because the dip was so far down and then it would be right back up. It's like the level of change isn't as high or isn't as like,
because it's actually more sustainable.
because it's like,
now
and we
for
now
your
have
system.
precision. We're now like,
Yeah.
it's now a moving upward trend in a normal speed rather than boom, 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 boom.
There's like
chaos.
measurable targets in place, and you've got systems of support in place, and there's more staff on board to support you in your capacity to grow and all those kind of things.
And I think like maybe the takeaway, I'm trying to get to the takeaway of like my year, and I think there's something around precision and also starting to become comfortable. I remember uncertainty because I'm so much more comfortable in a level of uncertainty. We know I've spent 5 years probably living in random places in no set location. I don't have strong relationships with certain people. I don't have things in place that are constant and structured, right? And I think that maybe it's like my takeaway from this year is how do I continue to build these strong things in place and look for stability rather than looking for absolute chaos or uncertainty, even though that I have chase uncertainty tattooed on my arm.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
I remember too.
Okay,
Okay.
Marshall,
I guess it's my go.
it is your turn.
I've been avoiding this.
I remember.
It has been a year, and I'm tossing up between a couple of things for my biggest learning this year. But I would have to say that everyone knows that we are co-founders of a business, Skye and I, and I have always so looked up to Skye. We founded Youth Engagement Project 2 years ago, and I've always so looked up to Skye. And the idea of leading the business with you on maternity leave was so terrifying and just so scary. And the question of if I could and if I was good enough without you was so big, like so big and so like so heavy on my chest, and such this like deep dark insecurity, I suppose. And probably my biggest,
Which is crazy, right? Because I'm over here on the maternity leave going, the business has got to be so much better and so much smoother and have all of this impact, like so much so.
well, so that was my big, such a fear of essentially whether I was good enough, which is also one of my biggest, limiting beliefs that I struggle with as an individual. And probably my biggest learning is it's a quote that I say all the time, and it just like comes out of my mouth, and I very much lived it this year, which is that ready isn't a feeling, ready is a decision. And I literally just had to make the decision that I was ready. And I wasn't just ready to do it, but I was ready to do it in a terrific way. And I was ready to show up from sunrise to sunset, and I was ready to do what it takes. And so that is one of my biggest learnings is that the embodiment of that, and that I am good enough. And my second biggest learning, which so deeply, it's like why I was battling with this question. It's so deeply conflicts in a sense with like I am good enough and I am ready from the work stance, because the other biggest learning is that I've had to let go in a lot of ways falling pregnant and realizing that so much of my identity has been tied to my output and being good at what I do, and realizing that like toying with that through my first trimester has been honestly one of the hardest emotional things I've ever walked through, and I hadn't realized it would be such a deep factor for me as a person. But it's really, really scary and really beautiful to embrace the uncertainty of not knowing how my own identity unfolds as a being when I am releasing the need to connect my worth to something like, output, and connect it to whoever knows what on earth this next chapter looks like, which utterly terrifies me. But yeah, it's just the choosing to be ready and knowing I'm good enough combined with letting go is my biggest learning.
Big year of learning,
Big
team.
year.
Big year of learning.
And still so much to come.
Yeah.
So we wanted to reflect on our biggest learnings and invite you into this journey. This is not just about us. we believe that, and you've sat through, I'm sure, feeling the discomfort and uncertainty that the three of us navigated, reflecting on our own biggest learnings. And so please, if you're feeling that way, take some deep breaths, which is what I was just doing, sitting here on this couch. Take some deep breaths, and we invite you into reflecting on your biggest learning. And more than that, what we really invite you into is sitting down with some people that you trust, whether it's family members or friends or colleagues, and having this conversation and breathing through it and supporting each other, like not mocking each other's biggest learnings and making a joke, as tempting as that can be, but holding each other in that, because we let the years fly by without doing this reflection far too often. And your learnings are undoubtedly huge, and they have shaped who you are today and who you will be as you enter 2026. So reflecting on it is power.
Thank you so much for joining us this year. We are very excited to be back in your ears sometime in the very near future. Thank you for being on this journey with us. We are Podclass. Have a fantastic and well-deserved break.
Absolute pleasure.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I'll be here for you, 'cause you're there for them too.
Thanks so much for tuning into Podclass. If you've enjoyed this episode, we would adore it if you could go on to Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and leave us a review. 5 stars would be lovely. We would love to get this podcast into as many ears as possible so we can help and support as many people as possible who help young people. And if you're not already doing so, please go along to Instagram and follow us at podclass.aus.